What's up, YouTube? This is part 2 of my collection video. I'm going to try to make this one a little quicker because it's starting to rain, but this is my big sword collection. So I've got a bunch of nodachis and a nagamaki. I'm going to try to go through them quickly. First up, we're going to start with the big boy. This is the Hanbon Forge nodachi with the super deep sori. I view this one more like a tachi, so I added this wrap, kind of a pseudo tachi style. It's not the same, but it just looks cool. This is a 1060 blade with ishigami wrap and rayon silk. So it's not real silk, but it's nice. I basically almost always use this with gloves, so I just kind of needed it to be stronger, and it's nice. It doesn't move anywhere. It works really good. I like the dark red. It's got silver feathers underneath it, and just a blacked out theme. I'm gonna try to kind of work quick with these because it's getting really wet out here, but this is the blade. As you can see, it's very, very long. The nagasa on this is 121 centimeters or 48 inches. The curve is awesome. It's super, super long, and it's so fun to swing around. Like, I don't know, I love this thing. This one weighs just under 6 pounds, so it's definitely a workout to use. I love that thing. This is the Moushi nagamaki. This is a battlefield style nagamaki. So it's basically a shorter naginata with a longer blade. Nagamakis are really cool because it's theorized that they were formed from nodachis. So instead of having a short handle with a long blade, you make a long handle with a short blade, and you can use it however you need to and still have about the same amount of range. This is the Moushi nagamaki, 35.5-inch blade with a huge handle. I don't even know how long this one is, but it's pretty cool. Next up is my very first sword that I got that was real. This is the Shinoa Colossus. It is a Damascus steel blade. This is what I got in the very beginning as a gift, and it started my obsession with getting back into samurai stuff. I have rewrapped this in a hiramaki style. It's easiest to do, and it stays the tightest, so I did that. But yeah, this is the Shinoa nodachi, very first one I ever got. Oh yeah, and that one was a 36-inch blade with a 14-inch handle. This one has a 22-inch handle. This is also a Shinoa nodachi. I like the way this one looks better because it has a steel-colored blade, not that weird-looking black blade. The black blade is not my favorite. I think it looks cheap, but I like this one because if you look close, you can see the Damascus pattern, but from far away, it just looks like a nice steel blade. They also did a really good job on the fittings. They're actually quite detailed and look really, really good. So if you're interested in getting a Shinoa nodachi, I recommend this one. I don't remember what this one is called, but you can find it on Amazon if you just look for Shinoa odachi. It has a 22-inch handle. It's a little bit more like a nagamaki feel. You can hold it quite wide, and it allows you to kind of do quick snap cuts and also long sweeping cuts. I really enjoy this blade. What's cool about the Shinoa odachis is they have a thicker base, and then they taper out. This one has an Unokubizukuri blade profile. That other one I showed you also does. So, good blade, very sharp. Honestly, really fun to cut with, especially for being a Shinoa. Shinoa are notorious for being kind of a low-end budget model, but I really like this one. I actually bought this one for one of my friends as well, and he loves it too. Next up is the SamuraiSword.com blue nodachi. Now this one, I did not expect to like as much as I do. Its suka is really short for the blade length. So the blade is a 120 centimeter long blade, 1060 mono steel, and the suka is only 13 inches, which is like a katana size. It's very short. But what it does do really well is the momentum behind your cuts is actually quite strong, because the short handle allows it to kind of whip around. So you can get really quick double cuts if you know how to leverage it pretty well, which is really cool to be able to do with a nodachi. This one comes with genuine ray skin underneath, tight fit and finish. With all the nodachis, I lacquer the suka just so that it doesn't go anywhere and I can use it for longer periods of time. I always use gloves when I'm using nodachi because you have to draw them out with your hand on the blade, so it doesn't make sense for me to cut myself. But yeah, this is $350 on their website, I believe. So not a bad sword for the money. One of the longer ones you can find without having to do a custom, which is really nice. This one is from the same company. I added on the Sageo. This is a Japanese Sageo. I think it makes it look really, really nice and matches the black and white theme. I bought this one because I thought it looked quite a bit like the Nagakiba from Elden Ring. It's got the small handle with a long blade. This one, it's just like the other one, 1060 mono steel with a 13-inch suka, and I quite love it. This one is probably the heaviest out of the three because I have two identical blue ones and then this black one. This black one comes in at 4 pounds. The two identical blue ones are around 3.5 pounds each, which is quite light for how long they are. But yeah, this one is fun. It kind of has a little bit more of a shock resistance to it because the spine is slightly bigger than those ones. But yes, again, this is a SamuraiSword.com nodachi. It is a great cutter, and if you want to get into getting a long nodachi, like bigger than the normal kind, this is a good place to start. Last but not least, the Drem sword nodachi. This thing is awesome. I got this one a little bit ago, and I've always had my eye on it. I thought the design just looked spectacular, and it's also got such a unique style of unokubi zakuri. So it's got the nice kind of defined ridgeline here, and it just looks exceptional when you see it. It's insanely light. I think when I weighed mine, it came in at like 2.5 pounds, which for being a 35-inch Nagasa is awesome. It has a silver-plated kind of look to it with a tiny tsuba. Favorite thing about this one is all the weight gets distributed to here. So the cuts are super easy to make, but you can directionally change it like really, really quickly. The tsuba kind of takes the weight out of the hand and moves it to the blade, but because it's got a longer, thinner profile, it allows you to kind of make quick snap cuts. You do have to have really good edge geometry or edge alignment, otherwise this very thin profile will turn on you. So as long as you have practiced a lot with edge alignment, it's a really fun cutter. Basically right here, it's essentially like a Hirazakuri thinness, which is cool. So it glides through targets really well. It's phenomenal for doing like double cuts on bottles and pool noodles. I really enjoy this sword. It has a 15-inch suka and a 35-inch blade. So it's just under kind of what I'd consider a nodachi, but it's just long enough that I don't really keep it, you know, in classification with the katanas. So this is a Drem sword, nodachi, unokubi zakuri, and I love it. It's one of the coolest ones I have. It has this awesome shell saya, and it's just a very cool sword to own, and I've had my eye on it for a long time, and it came really sharp, easy to cut right away with it, didn't have to do any edge work on it. I like the Sageo knot they did as well, looks really cool. And yeah, super tight, no saya rattle whatsoever, doesn't fall out. Well, it did there. That's because I shook it, but it doesn't fall out with like normal use. So yeah, I love this thing. Hopefully you liked that video. That's part 2 of the collection videos, the big swords. I need to get these inside and clean them up. Thanks for watching. Tone Deaf out.